Now let's skip the tourists here. Let's talk about the NRIs, specifically Indians in the US. Here's a question: why NRIs are rushing towards Indian fixed deposits? Well, what if I told you that many Indians living in America, Canada, Britain, and the Gulf too, they are suddenly paying more attention to Indian banks than the Wall Street? It sounds surprising, right? But that is exactly what is happening. At a time when global markets remain uncertain, many non-residential Indians, they are looking for something very simple, something predictable, something stable. And that is where NRE Fixed Deposits, they are making headlines. Several Indian banks are currently offering returns of up to 8%. Now in today's uncertain financial environment, that number, that's attracting a lot of attention across the world. Now think about it, many NRIs spend years working abroad. They save very carefully, they invest very cautiously, and they constantly look for safe ways to grow their money. Well, for them, the NRE deposits offer several advantages here. The interest earned is tax-free in India. The money can be transferred back overseas, and unlike the stock market, the returns are predictable. Financial experts say that this kind of trend, it reveals something important here. Many overseas Indians, they may live abroad, but they still see India as a key part of their financial future. They are buying homes in India. They are investing in Indian market, and increasingly they are parking money in Indian banks. Because while opportunity exists across the world, many NRIs still believe their long-term financial security that remains closely connected to India. Rising global uncertainty, concern about inflation, fluctuation in international market, everything is pushing many investors towards safer option. And for NRIs, India is no longer just home. It is increasingly becoming an important investment destination as well. Well, let's skip Indians for a second here. Let's talk about migrants in general, but how it is going to affect Indians too. Recently, Mr. Trump's $70 billion immigration victory, it is creating a lot of anxiety, specifically among the Indians. Imagine having $70 billion dedicated to just one issue, and that issue is immigration. And Mr. Trump, he has just secured one of the biggest immigration victories of his second term. That's right, the US Senate has now approved a massive $70 billion immigration enforcement package that will help fund deportation orders, detention facility, in fact border security and enforcement activities for years to come. Supporters, they are calling it a victory for law and order. But critics, they are calling it a major expansion of aggressive immigration policies. But regardless of where people stand politically, one thing is clear. The message coming from Washington, that's unpredictable. Immigration enforcement is not slowing down. In fact, in recent months, many people believed that things could change after midterm election. There was expectation that political pressure might force a very softer approach now. And this particular bill, it changes that whole conversation. With funding now secured, immigration agencies, they will have a lot of resources available regardless of any future political uncertainty. Now, for undocumented immigrants, specifically Indians, this creates anxiety. For legal immigrants, it creates question. And for the communities across America, it signals that immigration will remain one of the biggest political issues in the country. Mr. Trump has built so much of his political identity around this topic only. In fact, his supporters, they continue to view border security as a top priority. His critics argue that enforcement alone, it cannot solve America's immigration challenges. But one thing is undeniable. Immigration remains at the center of American politics. And that reality affects millions of people here, specifically those still waiting for decisions about their future.